This week in gaming.
I've got to do the news!
Hey, this is Richard Jellison
And I'm Travis Hyatt.
for Video Game Sophistry, and this is News of the Week. Sledge Hammer's next Call of Duty game, set in World War II, is finally slated to come out November 3rd. The Call of Duty story is supposed to be darker, grittier. The soldiers involved are said to be more diverse, racially or religiously. Sledgehammer's trying to make a more realistic game this time around, and thus have completely eliminated regenerating health. This time, in order to survive, you have to run over to your field medic, say, hey, I need a heal, and in a similar vein, if you want more ammo, you've got to share with your squad mates and make every shot count. Back to the multiplayer for the second, you should expect all of the normal modes plus a brand new mode called War. Think of it like a big story-based mission like Titanfall. And on the topic of playing together, Call of Duty is bringing back zombie co-op and maybe something a little different. Sledgehammer's co-founder Glenn Schofield says, we've got something very special with co-op coming, very much a Sledgehammer thing. Polygon and Kotaku are talking this up as the next big game Call of Duty needs as a series, but I'm not quite sure about that. It may be a Battlefield killer, it may not, but I'm not sure whether it's going to bring that Call of Duty reputation back up to where it really once was. We'll see when the game drops November 3rd.
So, how is Xbox doing? Microsoft is reported to make over $1.9 billion in the recent fiscal quarter year. When talking about Microsoft's earlier decline in the fiscal quarter, it's speculated that it was because most consumers are focusing their eyes and ears all on the Project Scorpio. Whether or not this is really the case is purely subjective. I personally think that it's a mix of not only consumers anticipating the Scorpio's release, but the fact that when you take into the consideration of the software that Xbox had that year, it wasn't really anything noteworthy or substantial. But thankfully, Microsoft has managed to dust themselves off, and they'll hopefully be seeing green for the rest of the year.
Earlier this year, Microsoft announced a new game service called the Xbox Game Pass. For $10 a month, you'll get access to over 100 Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. Spencer has said he's looked at Netflix and HBO and wants to emulate their model. Not necessarily for completed games, but also chapter-based games as well. This can turn every game into the likes of the new Final Fantasy VII Remake, where big-budget action games or even shooters can be broken down into 2 or 3 hour-long segments that release every few weeks on a paid platform. This might allow for an increase in quality for these pieces of released content, but what developer is going to want to put their hard work exclusively on a service where they won't see a dime in regular revenue? There's no saying that any part of that $10 a month is going to make it to the pockets of those developers.
We all remember how hard it was trying to find an NES Classic Mini. Now that Nintendo has ceased production on the thing, it's going to be nearly impossible to find it without having to break your wallet for $400 to $500 on eBay. Nintendo stated that the reason they're pulling the plug on this wonderful plug-and-play system is the fact that it wasn't meant to be a long-term product. It's also speculated that the reason that the NES Mini went out of production is so Nintendo could shift their focus not only on the Switch, but so that they could also begin production on the rumored SNES Classic Mini. Now, even if this is the case for both the SNES Classic Mini and the Switch, that really doesn't justify the limited amount of units that consumers had when this thing launched. Nintendo has somewhat garnered a reputation for specialty products, but when it gets to the point where an $80 system becomes a $500 system, nobody wins. It seems that Nintendo don't give a damn if you wanted an NES Classic Mini.
5 years and 16 episodes later, the last video of Feminist Frequency's Anita Sarkeesian's depiction of women in video games has finally dropped. The final video focuses on the lady sidekick character, with special attention paid to BioShock Infinite's Elizabeth and her role in the base game. She goes over the idea of supporting females who have no real agency or character, but offer a helping hand, condemning the likes of Resident Evil 4, but really praising The Last of Us and Gears of War. In the last 5 years, gaming has changed a lot. Whether or not Anita Sarkeesian's points made a big change in the industry is hard to say, but there are a lot more strong and developed females in both lead and supporting roles than there ever were before. Thanks for watching. I'm Richard Jellison.
And I'm Travis Hyatt.
And that was your News of the Week.